explosive plays offensively to create some vertical balls against a defense like that, and they're really good, especially in the front seven defensively. I think that third down really hurt us in the game, not being able to get off in some critical third down situations. But we got to just man those guys up in some situations and play them better, play tighter coverage at times. I was disappointed with that, but our guys fought hard, but we're not in this for a consolation prize. We're in this to win, and that's the bottom line. We want to win now. We want to do what we need to do to. I thought we made a lot of improvements from last week, especially on the offensive side of the ball. But give those guys credit. They made plays, and their coaches did a good job when they needed to, and we came up short. So that's the way you got to look at it. And I was really proud of our guys' effort and how they came out and competed in the game. And again, I want to thank our crowd because it was a great environment. There's no doubt it makes a difference for us here at home. So we certainly appreciate that, and I'll open it up for your questions. I probably think that through, Josh. Brandon did some good things in the game. There are things that, from the naked eye, people don't notice that he creates because of his legs in the run game that people have to lag. Like on the backside of the first play, you see a backside linebacker and a backside defensive end for the pull, of him coming out the backside. So there's things that he creates. And he did some good things. And we just felt like we needed to get the ball more vertical down the field. We were struggling to do that at the time, and that's why we made the change. Not disappointed with Brandon at all. Just feel like that we needed to get the ball more down the field a little bit and create some things down the field for us. It's very difficult in the throwing game right now. Obviously Debo and Brian didn't play and were very sparingly practiced throughout the entire week. It's really hard to develop any consistency for anybody, much less a freshman quarterback, even a fifth-year senior in Perry. So right now we're just kind of trying to piece it together as best we can. I thought Chavis Dawkins did a nice job when he went in the game. We just continue to have some of those young guys step up, and that's where we are. It's very frustrating for us, but they better enjoy it while they can get it. I can tell you that.
Will, why was Jamarcus back on punt return? Was Fenton hurt, or did he get pulled early in the game?
No, he had got banged up a little bit, was a little uncertain with his ankle. I think he's fine. I don't think it's anything serious. But, he was just a little gimpy. We put Jamarcus back. Debo started the year. You can't put the ball on the ground. It was critical.
What did you tell Jamarcus in the locker room afterward?
I haven't talked to him. Those are things that he didn't mean to drop it. So I don't. It's kind of like when a receiver drops a pass. He didn't mean to. Position his hands the right way. It looked like he didn't square the ball up based on what I saw. But I'll watch the film before I make a comment.
Dowdle had some nice runs in there today with his insertion. Does his ability to be in the game just give you some more options back there and change the dynamic?
He runs through contact. He's an explosive runner. A lot of times on that zone read, you've got that defensive end lagging down the line, and you're able to get that punch, and you're able to run through contact. And that's something you need, and he's got some strength about him. He's got some lower body, explosive power.
You mentioned not having Debo or Brian on the field. Just what do they bring to the team that maybe some of the other receivers might not? What can you do with them on the field?
Well, vertical balls down the field. You as a defensive coordinator, you want to look on the field and say, who threatens me right now, and that's those two guys are two guys you got to account for as a play caller, and so it changes how the game's called. It changes a lot of things. It changes the explosive ability on a bubble for a missed tackle, and to be able to take it the distance. There's a lot of things that they bring to the table that maybe don't go down in, down out noticed, but it changes the game and how someone's preparation. I hope both guys can go this week. I hope. I'm not going to put a guy out there if it's going to risk him further injury, and that's what they felt today, so we just didn't go with them. But they'll practice, and we'll see how they do.
Obviously, when Perry's in there late, you're throwing the ball because of the game situation. But how much of your passing game are you able to call with Brandon in the game?
We carry the same package regardless of who's in the game. So as far as those things are concerned, because right now we've got a lot of guys on the perimeter learning everything new for the first time. So it has nothing to do with who's at quarterback based on our throwing game.
So you feel just as comfortable calling the same sort of passing plays with Brandon as you do with Perry.
And
at
we
this
we
point?
dialed several things up, some vertical balls down the field, and you know, a lot of the same concepts had been called early in the game.
On that same line, Will, is it Brandon just not letting the ball go, or the receivers' coverage is why is there a difficulty trying to throw the ball downfield when he's in?
Well, I think there were a couple times we got covered. You know, there wasn't a good option to get the ball down the field. We had a breakdown in protection on one situation on a vertical ball. You know, so again, it's not one thing. It's a lot of different things, and I'd have to go back and cite each play and look at it to get back, you know, exactly every play. And Brandon did some good things in the game. He was not taken out of the game because he was playing poorly. We just felt like vertically getting the ball down the field, we needed to do that, and that's what we did. Brandon was not playing bad.
With the missed field goals and the 2 muff punts, I mean, special teams really had a glaring part in this game. I mean, is it more than a third of the game normally, or does it just kind of stand out when you have those kind of critical?
Well, we've had some critical mistakes in the last 2 weeks. You know, we run into the punter, and that was on a punt save situation, which we should have never have done. We're not, you know, there's an old saying, you either coaching it or letting it happen. So obviously we got to do a better job coaching it. You know, we had a punt return for a touchdown, and we had got a guy clip the guy in the back last week. This week we put 2 punts on the ground, and I mean, I got all confidence in the world. You know, it's an 11-point game, and you know, he's missed 2, and I put him out there again to cut it to an 8-point game to make it a 1-score game, and you're going for a 2-point conversion to tie it up. So I've got a lot of confidence in Elliott, and so we'll continue to toss him back out there.
Coach, you see a lot of 3, 4, 5 receiver sets against A&M. How was it to hold Trevor Knight to just over 200 yards passing?
Well, that was part of the plan. They had been very good running the ball, and he's done a fantastic job for them athletically and some of the things they do. The 49-yarder, we misfitted from the linebacker position to the second level. And you know, right now, defensively, I mean, we got to fit things perfectly right. We got to be in the right gap because we don't have much overlap to be able to overcome for a misfit up front. And our guys fit the runs decently well. That 49-yarder got out on us, and that was extremely disappointing. You know, Williams had 49 yards on that, and he had 13 attempts for 50 yards after that. So, you know, did a decent job with that, but I count their screen games as much as anything run game when they throw the bubbles and stuff because it's called off of the run game. So, you know, I thought we did a decent job. But we just third down was disappointing. We got to challenge receivers, man. You got to get up on the line and get your hands on people.
Are y'all able to play as much press coverage as you wanted to, and also what was kind of the key for you guys to hold an explosive offense like that to 24 points?
Explosive plays. I mean, it goes back. Let's go back to the two touchdown drives to start the second half and start the game. You had a corner out that corner should have split the zone outside on the ball was fumbled. So he comes off on his receiver, treats it as a scramble pass, and they hit DJ. DJ's rotating from inside out on the 7 cut on the sideline. You know, it's a tough deal, but that's the way it goes. But when you're able to eliminate those guys on explosive plays and make them be patient, that's when you play decent defense. And we're playing just decent. We're just decent. We're not. Don't be confused with good. And then in the second half, you got a 49-yard inside zone for a misfit and a missed tackle, and then a missed leverage from the left corner coming in should have blocked the ball back to the middle field safety. So, but we've got to play all those things right now. It's just the way it is. But I mean, I'm proud of our guys. I'm proud of our guys' effort. We're improving. We're playing blocks better. We're doing a lot of things better, but we don't have a lot of margin for error right now. It's frustrating. I'm very frustrated for our players right now.
Coach, I know you haven't had a chance to obviously go back and watch film, but was there anything in the second half with the run game that might have been different in the first half? You held them under 65 yards in the first half, and then they were able to kind of find their rhythm, especially as the game kept just picking up.
Well, I think that the 49-yarder and then 2 different times we busted on the quarterback pull. We chased the end for the dive and did not overlap it. Now, they blocked us. No, it was 3 times, excuse me. They blocked it once, and the other 2 times we didn't fit it exactly right. And right now we got to be right when we fit it. So give them credit. They made a couple of adjustments in the run game, and the 49-yarder is the same run that we fit probably 15 times in the first half for less than a 3-yard gain. So we've got to be right now. That's where it is. Yeah.
Austin from Student Media. Your fake punt was very gutsy, but it worked. What made you go with that play in that certain situation?
Well, we needed something explosive to happen. I felt like they came down and scored the first drive of the second half. They had all the momentum. So, you call those in those situations, it's more, to me, it's more about momentum and swinging momentum back in your favor. And that's why we called it. And it was Coleman Hutzler, our special teams coordinator, does a great job, and our players executed it very well.
Coach, what can you say to Hayden Hurst's contributions tonight and what he brings to your offense?
Well, he's a really good player. He's got really good ball skills. He made a nice ball. Perry threw a nice ball to him over the middle in traffic and made a really nice catch there. But he's a guy that I felt like going into the year was going to be a difference maker for us. He certainly has been, especially with the absence of some of our other playmakers. But he's a really good football player and a guy that's he's just doing this. He's going to keep getting better because he's really his first year of playing a bunch and playing where we're playing him, which there's a lot of nuances at the position that he's learning as far as from angles of blocking and catching the ball. He's a really good athlete. He's got very good ball skills. He's a great competitor.
That frustration that you referenced earlier, how are the players handling it, and how important is it as you move forward that they handle it if the results are not what they want?
Well, exactly, and I'm glad you asked the question, is what I told them in the locker rooms. Life's not fair. So sometimes you can work really, really hard, and you're not guaranteed of anything. So you can't get frustrated. You can't let the negativity start to seep in your body and your brain. You got to block it out and understand that we've just got to continue to work. You got to continue to work and continue to buy in and continue to believe in the things that they're doing as players, that they're doing on offense, defense, and special teams, and have that belief, because right now it's going to be negative. It's easy to kick the guy on the curb, and that's part of it. But right now we've got to continue to have the belief in what we're doing, and we do. And I believe in this group. We've worked extremely hard. We've had really good practices. We haven't had any issues as far as guys with attitudes and not doing the right things. And it's frustrating when you don't get the positive results you want, because right now in our society it's plus reset button and just move to the next thing. We can't do that, and we're not going to do that. We're going to go back and watch the film. We're going to work. We're going to have a hell of a day tomorrow, and we're going to work extremely hard on Monday, and we're going to have a great Tuesday practice. And that's what we have to do, and that's what we will do.
With Turner, obviously he had the big explosive play, but with his 10 carries, do you feel like every week he's being able to undertake more of a load from you guys?
Well, I think so, and I hopefully, with David playing well and Rico playing well, you got 3 guys. And in our league, you need to have a bunch of guys, because at the end of the day, as the season rolls on, you're going to continue to take a lot of hits, and you've got to be able to have guys that you can roll in there to play.
Anything else, Coach?
Thank you.